This is a live stream, and if you're new to the channel, do not judge my video by this. I mean, do not judge my channel by this video because I'm gonna probably take this video down in a couple of days. If you're new, go watch the live section of this channel and um, watch all my live streams. Okay, just work your way back from the most recent, and then work your way back. Anyway, so in this video, we're gonna talk about that that hell-bound Pope. Okay, and and if you don't know why they're hellbound, then obviously you don't read the Bible, because these idolaters and you know people like the Pope and the Catholic uh, Church, the things they do, man. You're not supposed to be calling anybody father, and like worshiping them. You get what I'm saying? It's different when you're calling your parents, dad, or that's different. But you're not supposed to call somebody else father and worship and kiss his hand and say, "Get out of here with that nonsense." The only hand and feet you should be kissing is God, which is Jesus. All right, that you're supposed to worship. Okay. Anyway, so the Pope passes, and why is this important that he passed on that day? I mean, this day. Today's 421. He passed. He died today. Why is that important? Is because today is the Space Needle's birthday. Okay, death and destruction. Okay, I told you that my two predictions of June 11th, Washington State being struck, and my other prediction is Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. And there's connections to both, okay? But I'm not going to show every, connection. This is just going to be a surface info. That's why I'm going to be deleting it. But so like I said, June 11th is the Washington State event. They're going to take a chunk out of the state of Washington. They're going to take a bite out of the Apple state, okay? And who's they? Don't ask me, but you know who they are. Is the minions of Satan. That's the only one people that I can tell you who they are. And um, and how is it going to happen? Most likely, it's going to be a supposed nuke, you know. But we know that it's just going to be some type of explosive, being planted probably. But anyway, that's the June 11th event, and then Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. I know I'm just repeating myself because I'm trying to make sure that more people get into the chat before we start showing any information. Anyway, so it's interesting that the Pope was the 266th Pope, and what would make it interesting is, check this out real quick. Again, folks, this is just me messing around. This is not an important video. That's why I'm gonna be deleting. The Pope was the 266th Pope, and wasn't there a big deal that the Pope in 2017 didn't he go to like September 23rd? Wasn't there some kind of connection with him and the September 23rd connection? What was that about? I can't remember now. But the 266th day of the year. Wait a minute. That's not right. Yeah, it is. The 266th day of the year is 923, right? And interestingly enough, the reason I bring that up is because the next one, if there is one, it'd be the 267th. Okay, and I'll explain why that's important. But look, Elvis's birthday to his death date, if you add up the numbers for that, it's 924. 900, I mean, from the first of the year to 924 is 267. See? And why is that important? Because it's all about the twin, Where is that? Let me see where I have that info. Let me bring it out right now. Give me a second here. Where is it? I don't even know where I put it. Is it over here? All right, let's get to that real quick. So the 266, all right, and then it goes into the 267. You'll see what I'm talking about. But let's start with the 266 first. And by the way, I'm going to get to all the connections with JD Vance, okay, and why he was there. All right, so you know that the 266 has a connection to the twins. You'll see in a moment. All right. First of all, did you know that Trump was born in the year 1946, and the prime numbers for 1946, the 19th, and the 46th prime, it adds up to 266. All right. Interestingly enough. All right. And I told you that why is that important is because the 266. Why is that important? Because see, it's the Tupelo area code backwards. 266 is the 662, and that's where Elvis and Jesse were born. Okay? Elvis and Jesse were born in the 662 area code because Elvis's identical twin died at birth, right? And the word twin equals 66. So you have two 66s. Get it? 66, 266. The 266th Pope is the backwards number of 26662. Get it? And 266s. That's what you're seeing. And there was two of them that were born that day. You understand? One of them died, right? And who died? It was the Jesse. Jesse, and that's how it's spelled on his gravestone with the I. And that equals 67. And Elvis equals 67. So you have two 67s. Do you understand? Because what did I just tell you about the 267? And isn't it interesting that, remember, they both equaled 67, Elvis and Jesse. And the 67th prime is 331. And there's two of them, 331, and it's 662. Do you understand what I'm showing? So their names equal 67. 67 prime is 331. Both of them 331 would make 662. And 662 area code is Tupelo. Okay? You understand? That's where they were born. And there's two of them. 66 twins. Two 66s. Get it? All right? And they're both in 67, their names. And 67th prime is 331. Two 67s is 662. Okay? Which is the Tupelo area code. And you know, Trump, he's born on June 14th. June 14th is the 165th day of the year if you add the day and the 166th day on the leap year, which makes 331. That's the 67th prime. And remember, Elvis is identical, died at birth. So that's why Jesse died, right? Elvis and Jesse both equal the same. The 67th prime is 331, and Trump is 331, right? What I just showed you. And remember, the very first thing I showed, if I could find it, what did I do with it? Is it here? Hold on. Yeah, remember this? So the very first thing I showed you, his year that he was born, if you add the year 266 and then you add the number of the year, 19 and 46, adds up to 331. So you see how his birthday completely adds up to the 331 connection? That's the amount of days his birthday for Trump. And then the year even adds up to 331 besides the 266, which is the Tupelo 662 area code, or the two twins. Get it? All right? Because Trump is the replacement twin for Elvis's identical that died at birth. All right? And again, we're talking about, you know, Elvis and Jesse both equaling 67, you know, 67, 67, Elvis and Jesse. and 67th prime is 331. Two of them is 662 area code, which is the 266 backwards, which is the 266 Pope. And they were born in Tupelo, right? 662 area code, 266 is two twins, right? And if you think these are just coincidences, you know that 9/11 happened 66 years after Elvis was born. 66 years, 8 months, 4 days to be exact. And 8/4 is when Trump gets his head wound. But 66 equals twin, and the Twin Towers fell 66 years after Elvis and his identical was born. And remember, I told you, in between Elvis's birthday and 9/11, besides it being 66 years, if you just went in between the same year, it's 8 months, 4 days. And the percentage for 8 months, 4 days, 247 days, is 67.67%. There's Elvis and Jesse again. And that's the Twin Towers falling. You understand? The 267s. Because the next Pope would be the 267. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay. And then it just goes right back to what I was showing you earlier. Remember, there was some kind of weird thing with the Pope on 9/23 in 2017. They were saying some kind of had to do with the revelation. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying a lot of people were talking about this 9/23 for that date. And the ninth prime is 23, by the way. But the 266th day was 9/23. The 266th Pope. Then the 9/24 would be the 267th day of the year. And Elvis's birthday and his death date adds up to 9/24. And 9/24 is the 267th day of the year. Get it? So, and also, that's my birthday and Neo's birthday, because he was born in the same hospital as me at the same time we were born. I was born on 9/4, he was born on 9/2, in the same hospital, in the same year. There's your 9294 connection with Neo and me. Okay? That's why I'm trying to tell you, I'm here to break the matrix. All right? And you'll see it be broken very soon. But anyway, so let's get off of this thing, and let me get back to some other stuff here. So, like I said, folks, I know it's kind of confusing. This video is not going to stay up more than a couple of days, but we'll see. Anyway, and by the way, I'm not saying that there's going to be another Pope. I said if there's another Pope. Okay? But to me, there should be. There should be another Pope, but, we'll see what happens to that Pope, maybe he's going to be the next Pope and all of a sudden something happens, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, and I told you I have two predictions. June 11th, the Washington State event. Get out of Washington State before June 11th, because they're going to destroy a part of Washington State. And then my other prediction is Trump gets his head wound on August 4th. Okay? And you know that, let's see. I don't know if I want to show this. Yeah, all right, whatever, man. I'll just show it. I don't really, want to show all this, but whatever. So Pope Francis, the day he was born to the day he died, that's the amount of days if you don't add the day and if you add the day. So 32267 days or 32268 days. And I told you Elvis is the skull and bones that they worship. He is the 322 guy. Okay, and look, Elvis equals 67, 68. And notice those numbers in there. 322, 222. You see all the numbers? It's the exact same numbers, what you're seeing here. 67, 68, 322, 2322. You see it? You see all the numbers that equate with Elvis there? Okay? So, you take it for what it is, And you know that the Pope, his In between Elvis's birthday and the day that he died, 421, it is 3 months, 14 days. That's the pi number. Okay? That's the pi number. 3 months, 14 days. And look, if you take the prime numbers for the day the Pope was born, because that's his birth date right there, 12/17/1936. Look at that. It's 84, the amount. 84 is when Trump gets his head wound. And look, 314, the amount. Um, yeah, it's 80. Yeah, that's correct. So you see what I'm saying? So you have that connection. And then from Elvis's birthday to the day he died is 3 months, 14 days. And you know what? I didn't check how many days in between his birthday. Let me just check it real quick. I don't know why I did. See, I told you I was not fully into this decode because I was supposed to do the Space Needle decodes because today was the Space Needle's birthday in Seattle. And it's a big birthday. It's the 63rd birthday, which is super important. And I didn't get to it because of this Pope thing. I was supposed to start last night. I said, "Oh, I'll just do what I need to do tomorrow morning," and then the Pope died. So, and I told you guys that there would be a possible predictive programming event because it's such a big day, But it was expected that he would die anyway. Just give me a second here. Yeah, this whole channel is about Jesus. Okay? So, yeah. Someone's saying, I hope you guys know Jesus. Yes, this whole channel is about Jesus. Jesus is God. So, if you believe that, you're at the right channel. I'm just replying to somebody in the chat. Yeah, in between Elvis's birthday and the day this what's that dude's name? The Pope. When he was born, just in between the birthday and in the same year, it's 11 months, 9 days, or 11 months, 10 days. So there is connections to both of that, but yeah, it's not important. I know it's got the 9/11. I know all that. Yeah. But here's the more important stuff. Let's see. Give me a second here. That's right. Yep. God bless all of you. Anyway, so from the day that because this year is the year 25, right? So it's interesting that the Space Needle, is the same day as the Pope dying today. Space Needle open on 421. From the day that the Pope was born to the day that the Space Needle opened is 25 years, 4 months, 5 days, if you add the day. So it's got that 25 plus the 45, And Trump is the 45th president. We're in the, he's still the 45th president and he's 47. But 25 years, right? We're in the 25th year right now. And you'll see why I'm bringing all that up in a moment. Once I start talking about Vance, you'll understand why I'm bringing that up. And you know that that he became the Pope on 3/13 in the year 13 of 2013. In between the Pope's birthday and the day he became Pope at the age of 76. Look, It's 2 months, 25 days. We're in the year 2225. From his birthday to the day he became Pope, in between that is 2 months, 25 days. You see? All right, that's another connection. And from the exact day, yeah, for the people who've seen my videos, you know why this is important. Look, from the Pope becoming the Pope to the next time his birthday comes around is 9 months, 9 months, 4 days, or 9 months, 5 days. You know why that's important, because that's my birthday. So let's move on from that. And from Elvis, and I told you 611 is when Washington State gets struck. Elvis is between 90 and 91 now. From the day he became Pope to 611 is 90 or 91 days. From the date he became Pope. Like I said, some of this is not important. Okay? Give me a second here. I'm gonna, like I said, there's a couple of good things I'm gonna show at the very end here. Let me go through this and see what I'm showing here. You know what? I don't know if I want to show this. Is this important, man? Let me see. Because I have, like I said, I have a couple of good stuff to show. In between the Pope's birth to Trump's birth was 9 years, 5 months, and 28 days or 29 days. So they had a 9-5 connection there, which connects to my birthday connection. But anyway, just give me a second. I'm trying to find something here. What is this, man? Yeah, I'm not going to show this. Waste of time. Just give me 1 second. I'm almost done here. Let's show, I'm going to show the better stuff. All right, so for all the people who've been watching my videos, you know that I told you guys that Trump would, because Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th, which is Obama's birthday. And that's why Obama was the president before Trump. Trump's going to get his head wound on Obama's birthday, right? And he's going to get it in Ohio. And that's why I told you guys he would pick somebody from Ohio as his running mate. Okay? I was telling that to people ahead of time. And he did. He picked JD Vance, right? Because JD Vance is from Ohio. And so this dude, JD Vance, he goes to see the Pope yesterday. And then Pope dies the next day. You know what I mean? How ridiculous. And don't forget, Trump gave the Pope a lotus. And the lotus represents rebirth. Because Trump, he's going to be pronounced dead, but he's going to come back from the dead, Okay? And so this JD Vance was there. And I told you JD Vance's real name is Donald. He's got the name James Donald Bowman, but who cares? But anyway, there's many connections with him besides the Ohio, where he's born. Because I told you Trump's gonna get his head wound in Ohio. Anyway, so let's get to it here. Watch this. just some connections here. All right. So, you know, today is 421, and I told you guys years ago, okay? I was the first one to start talking about reverse dates, you know, back in 2017. If you can find somebody who was doing it before that, then show it to me, prove it to me. Anyway, so the reverse date of 9/11 is 421. So the Space Needle is, you know, because I told you the next 9/11 is in Washington State, and that's where Seattle and the Space Needle is. Uh, in between the reverse date of 9/11, which is 421, in between their dates is 4 months, 21 days, or 22 days if you add the day. You see what I'm saying? And he died, the Pope, on 421, right? And that's basically what's in between, you know. And who was the guy who visited the Pope yesterday? Who was it? JD Vance, right? And JD Vance is born on 8/2. Now pay attention, folks. Get ready. So, first of all, the word Seattle equals 82. Because remember, we're talking about the Space Needle, which is Seattle. So the Pope dies on 421, which is also the Queen's birthday, which is also the day Prince died. But JD Vance is born on 8/2. He visits him, and he dies on 421, the Pope. And the 82nd prime is 421. The 82nd prime is 421. And the Space Needle opened on 421. Okay? And also, I told you Trump's going to get his head one on 8/4 this year. The Pope dies on 421. 4 times 21 equals 84. 4 plus 21 equals 25. So there's the death date for Trump. You know, but Trump gets his head wound, but he's, you know, he's pronounced dead, but he comes back from the dead. Okay? And are you guys getting what I'm showing here? And you know, when JD Vance was born, JD Vance was born on in 84. So he also has the 8/4 connection. You see? 8284, the 8284. And you know, I told you Seattle equals 82. And he's also got the Trump headwind date of 8/4. And look, it's 47 years. Ohio equals 47. You know, I know it's the 17th state, and I've shown you all the connections with that. But Ohio equals 47. Trump's the 47th president, and Elvis has been dead for 47 years. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and if you still think these are coincidences, pay attention. So remember, the Pope dies on 421. 4 times 21 equals 84. 4 plus 21 equals 85. That's the death date of Trump, 8/4/25, right? 82nd prime is 421. JD Vance is born on 8/2, and he visited him yesterday, right? JD's got the initials of Trump, DJ, you know, Donald John. But anyway, 421 in between 9/11 and 420, because 9/11's reverse date is 421. 421's reverse date is 9/11, okay? And that's, so you see all the connections. Now, when did the Pope become Pope? On 313. So the Pope first became Pope on 313. From 313 to 8/2, which is J.D. Vance's birthday, is 4 months, 21 days. And the Pope died on 421. From 421 to J.D. Vance's birthday is 3 months, 13 days. That's the day he became the Pope. You see? Now, did I just give you a perfect puzzle? And of course, J.D. Vance is born on 8/2. And it was 8 months, 20 days in between 8/2 to 421. 8-2 to 421 is 8 months 29. Before I move on, did you guys get how incredible that is that what I just showed you? Let's see if anyone got that. Yeah, I'll be able to tell if I see any screaming emojis. If I don't, you guys are basically soulless. You're dead inside. Anyway, I feel sorry for you people. You can't get what I just showed you. So JD Vance visits him, and all of these connections are connected to him. And I guarantee you didn't see this on anybody else's channel. Okay, so don't even try it. All right, don't even try it. All right. See, like I said, and here's here's a few more tidbits here. Give me a second. Hold on. Oh, I know you didn't see it on other channels. No chance of that happening. Because I told you, everything you're seeing that these people are doing now on other people's channels, they got for the way I do my Gematria and how I do the numbers with prime numbers and all that stuff. Everyone's starting to do it now, which I don't care, but it's just funny that, if I were to like do something that maybe somebody else might have done, already, since I'm taking my sweet time with everything. And it's so funny, people will come, oh, you got that from my channel. I say, are you crazy? I'm not gonna, let me tell you guys something. If I ever show something that somebody else showed, I will give them credit, because I would never want to take credit for something somebody else did, because it wouldn't feel good. You know what I mean? Especially if you'd be lying to yourself, Yeah, God bless all of you in the chat. And when I get mad at you guys, I'm just messing with you. But anyway, so the last few things I can show is let me see. Hold on. Give me a second here. So, that Elvis, he died on August 16th, 1977. And from that date of the Pope's birth to Elvis's death is 40 years, 8 months. Look at that. It's 804. That's the day Trump gets his head wound, on 8/4, And I showed you earlier, because the Pope died on 4/21, you see. And also the Space Needle, I told you, turned 63, and 1 through 63 added all up is 2016, which is, the day Trump, the year Trump was elected, right? And it's also August 4th, the 216th day of the year, and the O is a crown. I told you that, Yeah. So anyway, so you just, here and there, things. I could show you more, folks, but I don't know if I want to show that. Oh, wait a minute. I do have actually one more thing to show. There's a couple more connections. I might as well just throw it in. Yeah, I see what you're writing. Okay, so I told you that 9/11's reverse date is 421, right? And from 9/11 to, because he died on 421, the Pope. So that's why I'm connecting it to 9/11. So from 9/11 to the day the Pope became, that's the day the Pope became the Pope, 3/13/13, the year, 3/13/2013. From 9/11, the date happened, look at that, 11 years, 6 months, 3 days. And I told you the 3 is the crown, just like the O. See? It's the crown on the 6/11 or the 9/11 upside down. You see what I'm saying? Because I told you Washington's going to be struck on 6/11. You know what I mean? And in between 9/11 and the day, in between 9/11 and 421, because 421's reverse date is 9/11. If you go from 9/11 to 421, that's how many days and months it is. And the percentage for that is 611 with a crown. You see that? Again with the 611, if you look at what I just showed here, from the 9/11 to the Pope when he became Pope, you know what? I should have checked from 9/11 to today. I don't know if I checked that. I'm sure there's nothing to it. We'll see. Anyway, the best part was the JD Vance stuff. I think I'll do a remake of the video just with the JD stuff. Hold on. Give me a second here. What am I doing? Yeah, appreciate it. Wait a minute. I just saw something here. What is this? Where did it go? Let me see. Oh, it's close. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, there's something I'm looking at. Yeah, there's connections. Look, I might as well show it to you. Just real quick, look. So from 9/11 to today's date, from 9/11 to today's date, look, it's 23 years, 7 months, 11 days. Remember, I was just showing you that from 9/11 to 421, just in the same year, is 223/7/11. So basically, it's if you just take out one of the twos and just use the 2 twice, it would be 23711. You know what I mean? 23711. See, it's 3 years, 7 months, 11 days. See, 23. So if you use the 2 twice, 223/7/11, it'd be exactly what you're seeing here: 223 days, 7 months, 11 days. You know what I mean? I just thought that was interesting. You know. And I think that's... Oh, no, I have one more thing to show. Oh, you know what I forgot? What I forgot to put down is the amount of days. So from 9/11 to the day the Pope became the Pope, I told you was 11 years, 6 months, 3 days, and I told you it's just 6/11 with the crown. But if you don't add the day, it would be 6 months, 2 days, right? But look at the day. 4 2s. It's that 421 number, and that's exactly what's in between 421 and 9/11 is 4 months, 21 days, or 4 months, 22 days in between 421 and 9/11. Do you understand? What's in between 421 and 9/11 is 4 months and 21 days, or 4 months, 22 days. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because 9/11's reverse date is 421. So that's another connection right there. Okay. But here's the last thing on the show. Okay. So, JD Vance, I told you, is the one who visited him, right? JD Vance is born on 8/2. 8/2, and he died on 421, the Pope, because that's who JD visited, right? 8/2 to the 421, if you add that up, is 1223. And why is 1223 so important? I'm going to tell you something right now. Why is 1223 so important? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know about that. And someone in the chat's mentioning the 777. Yeah, I know that if you put 770, if you put 777, it equals 421. Like if you put it into the Gematria calculator, 777 equals 421. Yeah. Right? Is that what you're gonna put? Or it ends with 421. I can't remember now. Let me show you. If you don't know it, let me show you what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm wrong about how I'm writing it, but I know it comes up to 421 somewhere. But let me show you how it does, just in case I'm not correct about the way I'm saying it. But for sure, there's a 421 connection here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Now? You see, you gotta love this because I appreciate this person bringing it up. That way, I can show it to you. See, look, 777. Look, see, it equals 314. Then the reduced number is 107. Then you get 421. Okay, now why is this important? Because how many days are in between Elvis's birthday to 421? 3 months, 14 days. You see what I'm saying? In between Elvis's birthday and 421 is 3 months, 14 days. Okay? And it ends with 421. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about other than that. That's the only thing I know about what you were talking about. So whatever video you're talking about, I'm not sure. But let me just show this about the 1223, why that's important. Give me a second here. So, just real quick, the reverse date of Elvis's birthday, folks, I wasn't prepared to do this. So, from Elvis's birthday, the reverse date of Elvis's birthday is 1223. Okay? The reverse date of Elvis's birthday is 1223. If you add that up, it's 1331. The 6th prime is 13. The 11th prime is 31. And that looks just like that stupid Pope's birthday. Not birthday. The day he became Pope, it was 3/13/13. Same stupid numbers. But 6th prime, 11th prime is that, and I told you Washington State is going to be struck on 6/11, and it's all for Elvis and his identical twin, who supposedly died at birth. But this is his reverse birth. Elvis's birth reverse date is 1223. And look, from JD Vance's birthday to the day Pope died, because JD Vance visited the Pope right before he died yesterday. And if you add that up, it's 1223. That's the reverse date, right? And why am I bringing this up, the 1223? Because look at this. Look at this. 12 years, 2 months, 30 days. Look, it's got the 1223 from the day he became pope to the day to 611, to the day that the it's gonna be struck Washington State. Look, it's got the 1223 with a crown, and I just showed you the 611. 611 connects to that 1331, which looks just like the day he became pope. 313 13. You see all the numbers with the 313 and 31 stuff, and the 1223 was the JD Vance birthday and the Pope birthday adds up to 12 and 23. You see what I mean? And that's Elvis's reverse date. So you have 1223 with a crown, right? And then it was and remember, it's the Space Needle's birthday. The Space Needle's birthday turns 63. From the day the Space Needle opened to yesterday's date when it turns to today's date when it turns 63. Look at that. It's 12 and 23 with a crown. There it is again. See? 12, 2, 3 with a crown. 12 and 23 with a crown. So forward. So that's the forward. This is the backward. You see what I'm saying? The numbers. And that's the Space Needle opening date to the day to today's date. 63 years. And I told you the 63 connects to the 216 because 1 through 63 equals 2016. Hold on. Yeah. Right. That's right, Jesse. I forgot to mention that. I am so. Yes, that's exactly right. If you add up all the numbers between 4 and 21, it equals 225. We're in the year 225, and the Pope, in between his birthday, and the day he became Pope was 2 months, 25 days. So from his birth to the day he became Pope, from 1217 to 313 is 2 months, 25 days. And he died on 421. If you add up all the numbers between 4 and 21, you get 225. Yes, I can't believe I forgot that. In one of my other videos, I've shown that. Oh, there you go. There's another connection right there. Look, here you go. Thanks to one of the viewers showing something, I just realized what I missed. Where is it? Here it is. Watch. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. With my luck, I won't be able to find it. Where the heck is it? What did I do with it? Oh. Give me a second. Here it is. Look. So, first, let me get this out of the way. So, remember, I told you that we're in the year 2025, and from Pope Francis' birthday to the day he became Pope, just, if you go within the same year, 1 year period, it's 2 months, 25 days in between. All right. So, and we're in the year 2025. Okay. And he died on 421. If you add up all the numbers between 4 and 21, you get 225. You get 225 if you add up all the numbers between 4 and 21. And he died on 421, right? And what is today's date, folks? This is what I'm going to tell you right now. Somebody just posted it, the date, and it just hit me what it is. Look. Stupid. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm sure this is just a coincidence. Yeah, this is just a coincidence, folks. You don't know that? Check this out. You're gonna love this one. So today's date is 4/21/2025. Are you ready for this? 4 plus 21 is 25, and 20 plus 25 is 45. So 2545 on today's date. And what did I show you earlier? From the Pope's birth to the exact day that the Space Needle opened was 25 years, 4 months, 5 days. You see? From the Pope's birth to the Space Needle is 25 years, 4 months, 5 days. There it is right there. See? And the Space Needle turned 63 today. There it is. You see? You see what I'm talking about? All right. There's no way that could be a coincidence, because the Space Needle birthday today, and he dies on the exact day, because that was the Space Needle's birthday. I mean, it opened that day the first time, and that's from the Pope's birth. Okay. No way could that be a coincidence. What do you guys think about that? Right? There's no way, right? Anyway, so like I said, folks, I'll leave this video up for a couple of days at least. Wow, you guys, did you guys see what I just put there? What's wrong with you people? There should be like 800 screaming emojis right now. What's screaming orgasmic emojis? Yeah, it's just unbelievable, man. What does it take to get you for you guys to get excited? Yeah, come on. Yeah, there you go. This is so fun. Can you imagine if someone just walks in and they see all that? See, that's why I'm saying. That's why I keep telling you guys that you guys should do that. Is that way people, when they come to see the live stream, they're like, "Whoa, what is all that?" What's with all these screaming emojis? You know. But you get what I'm saying. So if you saw what I just showed, oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, anyone who just got in, I'll leave the video up. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That way people, but you should have been doing that through the whole video. Every time I show something, that's what you guys should do. That way people will understand how important it is. You know what they'll do? They'll want to understand. Because a lot of people, when they watch this stuff, they're just mesmerized. They're in a trance. They're not really paying attention. So in order to get their attention, you have to throw up those orgasmic emojis. You get what I'm saying? That's what has to happen. Because that way people will go back and pay attention. They'll be like, "Oh, that must mean I must pay attention to this," Yeah, there was a few good parts in this video. Really good. And I might redo the video, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to. I might just leave it like this. Yeah. All right. Any last words? 4 more minutes, folks. Anyone who got in late, you got to watch from the beginning. All right. And folks, I left a lot of stuff out. Yeah, I left a bunch of cards out. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with it. All right. Yeah, if you came in late, watch from the beginning. So, like I said, if I were to do, yeah, you'll start noticing the numbers, right in front of you. Once you're awake to them, you'll be like, yeah, I see it everywhere. The numbers, right? Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. You're, yeah, you're still screaming. That's funny. Anyway, God bless everyone, and uh, like I said, if you got in late, watch from the beginning. If you're new to the channel, watch the live section of this channel. Go to the live section, work your way from the most recent back, because unless you watch 10 of the videos, the live streams, you're not going to understand. You're not going to grasp the magnitude of what I'm showing. Okay, this is biblical, what I'm showing. Okay, it's the beast out of the sea event, and the beast also that gets the head wound. That one of its heads has a head wound. So it's two events. Okay, June 11th and August 4th. Those are the two events. Yeah, that's what we'll see what's going on with this Pope thing. Yeah, and I talked about that too in the beginning, about the possibility of a new Pope. No, 6-11 and 8-4. 6-11 and 8-4, not 7-11. 6-11. Get out of Washington State before 6-11. Yeah. Get out of Washington State before June 11th. Yeah. All right. Anyway, folks, God bless all of you. All right, last minute. I want to keep it under an hour. It's almost an hour. Yeah, I know. People are saying it's the last pope. I get it. Uh, but there's still a possibility that something could, some weird thing might happen with this pope, this next supposed pope. Maybe there might be some kind of event that triggers it not to happen. You know what I mean? We'll see. All right, last 30 seconds, folks. Yep, we'll see. We'll see what happens, folks. All right. End of video. Watch from the beginning. I'll leave it up for a day or two, maybe. All right. Jesus is God. End of video.